We have two things we have to accomplish, but we got to square this up to the front of the vehicle. The floor slope has already been set, so we compensated for the floor slope. So we really want to just basically use this gauge to square this unit up to the front of the headlight or the vehicle. So now, before we do that, we have to make sure that this gauge is properly aligned to the front. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go down and we're going to verify that that line is square to this front edge.
So it's all kind of how you look at it and make sure that it's lined up straight.
You got it.
Okay.
And we can see that this is square. If it was not square, we would loosen these screws up and we would adjust this window so that this alignment gauge is square to this. Okay. Once we know that's square to that, we can then use it to focus in on 2 points. Now in this particular vehicle, we're looking at equal points, so I'm going to use these 2 screws. If you wanted to, you could pull back for a little farther and you could pull these 2 screws, but you basically want equal distances between them. You want them placed squarely, or I should say, square to each other. They need to be in line with each other so that you're creating a good point of reference.
So you wouldn't want to use something like this bolt here and like that clip down there because they're not square to each other.
Right, not at all. So, and if you use this bolt here and then this bolt over here, you could use them, but you can't see them in this window.
Oh, okay, got it. All right.
So we want to be able to see our 2 reference points that are square to each other in the window.
Easy.
You got it.
Yeah.
It's right there. It's available. So we take that and we're going to adjust. If you want to take a look, we'll see it's out of square. And then we're going to make a minor adjustment. Move that over. It's not perfect yet. And now if we take a look at it, we can see that's squared up pretty well.
Oh yeah, that's a lot better.
So now that we're square to the vehicle, now we can do with the alignment check. Now what's nice about this is we have both a high beam and a low beam in one housing. So when we have both beams in the same housing, we really only have one adjustment. So we can choose to pick the high beam or the low beam, but we're going to start out on the low beam. And we're just going to go over and we're going to take a look at the screen. And what we're doing is we have this good light diffuser in the front of it. It's not just a polished piece of glass, it's a light diffuser. So it doesn't have to be perfectly centered on the light. But we're going to be able to move it up or down, and we're going to want to get the bright spot in the screen. And you can see right there is good there. And then I'm going to move it to the left and right. And see that goes out. Going to go back to shadows on this side. We're on shadows again. Wow. So now we're going to center it up on the...
So you're looking for it to be like super bright.
Nice and bright.
No shadows.
Nice and bright. And that means we're relatively centered on the headlight. What's nice about it is this screen, this type of screen with the light going in, you don't have to be perfectly centered. Ideally, if it was a polished piece of glass as that lens, you'd want to be perfectly centered on the light. So now we just look and see what it is we have. And that's really out of spec to the right. So we can see this headlight is height-wise, it's okay, but it's too far to the right. Those little boxes there in the center of the screen are basically our specifications of 2 inches and 4 inches. The spec, the state inspection regulation basically says anything more than 4 inches is out of adjustment and needs to be corrected for inspection. Now, what we're going to do is we're now going to check it on the high beam, because the high beam pattern is actually easier to read than the low beam pattern. And we can do that because they're both lights are in the same housing. If we take a look, we can see it's still out grossly to the right, but it's a nice bright centered dot. It's very easy to read. It's got a central hotspot designed to project straight down the road in a focused area. And we can see this is clearly out to the right.
Right. It's still too far to the right. So
Right.
when
So
you're
now-
driving down the road, that one headlight is out.
To the right. Now it's
out
the
to the-
right side headlight, so you tend to want it to be pointed a little bit more to the right to help you read the signs, but this is excessive. This is basically looking into the forest right now. The light is not hitting the edge of the road.
Right.
It's seeing the signs, but you can't see the road.
Right.
Now, if we come over to the left headlight, we're just going to move straight across, stay square to the vehicle. And now if you take a look at that on the screen, you can see that that light is nice and centered on the target. Now, while it's not perfect, it passes inspection. It's very close to perfect. This headlight is adjusted well. That headlight is way out to the right.
Right. And this is something that you can't see. You
No.
can't see this by looking at the lights on the front of the van.
No.
Right.
In fact, if we take this and we just look at the door, you can't really make that determination.
Right.
They look to be at the same height, hitting at about the same place.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, knowing that the right side is facing to the right, now in my mind, when I look at it, it looks like it's to the right, 'cause I know it's to the right. But if I didn't know, I would have
Right.
no way of knowing, because it's
Right.
right.
So that's on the high beams. Now the high beam is really easy to see that they're they're hitting at the same. Let's look at the low beam. It's still going to be difficult, if not impossible, to tell there's an issue. I mean, that seems a little bit higher than that one.
Yeah.
But the truth is, it's so far out of whack to the right. Now, the simplest approach to this is when you use your headlight aimer. Your headlight aimer is giving you, when you're too far left or too far right. You know when you're too far high or too low. You know it. The door is a hard read. You would never be able to inspect those lights and say that they're good or bad, because you just don't know.
Right.
Not to mention the fact that we're incredibly close to the door. And this is allowing you to not use the 25 feet that you would need to be away from that door, that becomes usable. It's too close to the door to determine if it's pass or fail, even if it's on its best day and the lights are perfect. This thing allows you to do it in reduced space. So now we're doing it in about 18 inches to 24 inches. This way requires 25 feet.
Right.
And this is how far we are away from the screen.